Did you know that a single person entering your home can destroy your peace without you even realizing it? Padre Pio warned about this clearly and powerfully. Don't let that person enter your home again. But who could that person be? And why can the simple act of opening the door to them bring such devastating consequences to your spiritual, emotional, and even physical life? Imagine the following. Everything is peaceful in your home. But after someone visits, you feel a heaviness in the air. Small arguments start to arise, you feel discouraged, and even your prayers seem less intense. Could this be a coincidence? Padre Pio didn't think so. For him, some people carry influences with them that, consciously or not, can affect the harmony of the environment and even drive away divine grace. Type in the comments, Padre Pio, drive away all negativity. Now stop and think, is there someone in your life who, every time they show up, leaves a trail of negativity? Someone who brings gossip, envy, or disorder? This person may be more dangerous than you imagine, and it's not just about avoiding conflict. According to the saint, we're dealing with something deeper, something that can threaten the spiritual balance of your home. In this video, we'll reveal who this person is, how to identify them, and most importantly, what you should do to protect your home and your family. And don't think that Padre Pio's advice is based solely on blind faith. You'll understand how the attitudes and intentions of certain people can, in fact, impact your life in unexpected and often invisible ways. Stay with us until the end, because we'll share not only Padre Pio's teachings, but also practical strategies for shielding your home from these negative influences. This knowledge may be just what you need to restore peace and divine protection to your home. And before we begin, remember, Padre Pio's words were not just warnings, they were a call to action. So, are you ready to find out who should never cross your door again? Before we delve into Padre Pio's warning, it is essential to know the story of this extraordinary man and understand why his words continue to resonate so deeply in the hearts of millions of people. Padre Pio, born Francesco Forgione in the small town of Pietrelcina, Italy, was a Capuchin friar who dedicated his life to prayer, service to others, and the pursuit of holiness. His fame transcended borders due to extraordinary events, such as the stigmata, wounds that replicated those of Christ, which he bore for many years. In addition, Padre Pio was widely recognized for impressive spiritual gifts, such as bilocation, reading souls, and prophecy. But above all, he was a tireless confessor, dedicating hours a day to listening to and counseling people who sought relief from their spiritual and emotional pain. What made him so special were not only the miracles attributed to him, but also his ability to speak profound and practical truths. Padre Pio did not mince words when it came to protecting souls from negative influences. He had a keen eye for discerning people's intentions and knew how to identify those things that could lead the faithful astray. For example, a woman once came to him for advice about a friend who frequently visited her home. Padre Pio replied directly, "Stay away from him. He does not seek your good, but your downfall." The woman followed his advice and soon discovered that this person was plotting against her. This story shows how his advice was not only spiritual, but also profoundly practical. He saw beyond appearances and always prioritized the well-being of those who sought his help. Do you feel like your life is falling apart? Problems that seem to have no solution? Family conflicts that never end? Or even that feeling of emptiness that does not leave you in peace? Perhaps you are looking for an answer, a light, a greater force that will help you overcome all of this. Padre Pio's power can transform your life. This exclusive ebook contains powerful prayers for all moments: healing, protection, financial blessings, family restoration, and much more. Inspired by the teachings of one of the most miraculous saints in the Church, it is a spiritual guide that connects you directly with the divine. You don't have to face challenges alone. Get The Power of Padre Pio right now and discover how faith can be your greatest weapon. Click on the link in the first comment and download the ebook that is already helping thousands of people achieve peace, protection, and spiritual strength. You deserve to live with faith and tranquility. Don't wait. Start now. The link to download the ebook is in the first pinned comment. Padre Pio's warning: don't let that person in. Among Padre Pio's most intriguing pieces of advice is the warning: don't let certain people into your home. But who are these people? The saint was not referring to specific names or identities, but rather to a type of behavior or energy that can upset the peace and harmony of a home. He believed that these figures carry with them a spiritual or emotional burden that negatively affects everyone around them. These people are those who intentionally or unconsciously carry negativity, leaving a trail of conflict, anguish, or disorder. Padre Pio, with his profound spiritual insight, taught that the home is a sacred space. It is where the family shares moments of love, prayer, and unity. Allowing people with questionable intentions or harmful attitudes into this environment can have lasting spiritual and emotional consequences. The characteristics of these people include incessant gossip, attitudes of envy or competitiveness, disrespectful behavior, and a tendency to bring discord. They don't necessarily have to act with bad intentions to have a negative impact. Sometimes the energy they carry is enough to destabilize the peace. Padre Pio also warned against those who belittle your faith or mock the values that you and your family hold dear. He said that these people not only harm the environment with their words or actions, but they can also weaken the spirituality of the home. After all, how can we focus on living in harmony if we are constantly facing conflicts or being challenged by those around us? Imagine this. Maria had always welcomed a close friend into her home, a person who seemed nice but who always made derogatory comments about her family and lifestyle. After each visit, Maria noticed that she and her husband were arguing over trivial matters, and her children were restless. One day, after reading about Padre Pio's advice, Maria decided to limit this friend's access to her home. Instead of receiving frequent visits, she began to maintain contact outside the home in neutral spaces. The result was surprising. Peace returned to the home, and negative energies ceased to manifest. This example shows how Padre Pio's words still resonate today, encouraging us to protect our physical and spiritual space. Signs that someone may be harming your home. How can you recognize the person that Padre Pio warned should not enter your home? This person does not necessarily have obvious bad intentions, but their actions, behaviors, and energy can negatively impact the environment of your home. Let's explore the signs he left us, followed by a real-life example to help illustrate these ideas. Constant gossip. Padre Pio warned that the tongue is one of the most dangerous weapons. A person who constantly brings gossip into your home is sowing discord. Even if the stories seem harmless, they create an atmosphere of negativity. In addition, listening to gossip can lead you to judge others unfairly, something contrary to the teachings of Christ. Disguised envy. Envy is not always explicit. Many times, the person who appears to be rooting for you the most is actually the one who secretly wants you to fail. These feelings, although hidden, can generate a heavy energy in the environment. Have you ever noticed someone who, when they leave your home, leaves you feeling unmotivated or restless? This is a sign that something is wrong. Lack of respect for your values. A person who ridicules your faith, belittles your principles, or insists on imposing inappropriate behavior in your home is invading more than just your physical space. According to Padre Pio, mutual respect is essential, and anyone who breaks it does not deserve to be in a place as sacred as your home. Conflicts and emotional exhaustion. Someone whose visit is always followed by arguments or a feeling of emotional exhaustion may be carrying a negative spiritual influence. This does not necessarily mean intentional malice, but it is a warning that their presence is out of alignment with the peace you seek for your home. Imagine Maria, a mother of a family, who frequently welcomed a friend, Anna, into her home. Anna would always bring stories about other people's problems, make disparaging comments about Maria's achievements, and question her faith with seemingly innocent jokes. After each visit, Maria noticed that her home was tense, her children were fighting, and she herself was feeling anxious. Reflecting on Padre Pio's words, Maria decided to limit Anna's visits, keeping their friendship at a distance and strengthening her prayer practices at home. Soon, peace returned to her home. This story shows how recognizing the signs and taking action can transform your life and protect your spiritual environment. The spiritual impact of letting this person in. Padre Pio saw the home not only as a physical space, but as a reflection of the spiritual state of the family. For him, allowing people with negative intentions, destructive attitudes, or disturbed spirits to enter can have a profound impact that goes far beyond what we immediately perceive. He believed that the presence of these people can open spiritual gaps, affecting the harmony, faith, and even the emotional health of those who live in the home. One of Padre Pio's main teachings is that the spiritual environment of a home is as important as its material organization. Just as objects out of place can cause discomfort or hinder the functionality of the space, a spiritual atmosphere filled with negativity can interfere with the well-being of the residents. This does not mean that the person in question is necessarily bad, but their attitudes, thoughts, or energies can carry influences that, intentionally or not, disturb the balance of the home. The saint also warned about the possibility of such people being instruments of distraction. According to him, the enemy often uses everyday situations to sow discord, disunity, and distraction, especially in homes focused on spirituality. When we repeatedly allow negative or ill-intentioned people to enter our lives, we can distance ourselves from practices that promote peace and connection with God, such as prayer, meditation, or simply living harmoniously with the family. Furthermore, Padre Pio said that emotions such as anger, resentment, and envy are not limited to those who feel them. They can spread like poison to everyone around them. Thus, when someone brings these feelings into their home, the impact can be devastating. The harmony of the environment dissolves, fights become more frequent, and even children, who are naturally more sensitive to the energies around them, may begin to show changes in behavior or unexplained symptoms. On the other hand, protecting the home spiritually does not mean being hostile or cutting ties abruptly. Padre Pio preached love and forgiveness, but always with wisdom. He encouraged his followers to pray for those who bring negativity, but also to set clear boundaries to protect their homes. For him, this is an act of charity toward others and responsibility toward one's own family. Life example: Anna and her transformative experience. Anna, a devotee of Padre Pio, faced a similar situation. A close friend frequently visited her home and seemed to bring with her a load of problems. With each visit, Anna noticed that her family became restless, arguments escalated, and the atmosphere seemed heavy. Despite loving this friend, Anna began to notice that her energy was affecting her home. Inspired by Padre Pio's teachings, Anna decided to take action. First, she prayed intensely for her friend, asking for light and transformation in her life. Then, she spoke gently, explaining that she needed some time to reorganize her home and her life. During this time, Anna reinforced her family prayers, placed crucifixes in the rooms, and consecrated her home to God. Within a few weeks, she noticed dramatic changes. The atmosphere. What to do if you have identified this person? Identifying that someone may be disrupting the balance of your home is an important step, but acting wisely is essential to avoid conflict and preserve your peace. Padre Pio, with his wisdom and spiritual guidance, left us valuable advice on how to deal with these situations in a charitable but also firm way. 1. Pray for this person. Padre Pio believed in the power of prayer as the greatest tool for transforming hearts. He taught that, instead of reacting with anger or resentment, we should pray for the people who harm us, asking God to illuminate their paths. Prayer not only helps this person find light, but it also purifies your own heart, relieving the burden of carrying negative feelings. One suggestion is to include this person in your daily prayers, asking for their peace and a change of attitude. 2. Set clear boundaries. Charity and forgiveness do not mean allowing abuse or toxic behavior. Padre Pio taught us to be firm in our faith and values, and this includes protecting our family space. If you have identified someone who brings negativity or bad energy into your home, talk to them in a respectful but direct manner. Explain how you feel and set healthy boundaries. For example, you may choose to meet this person in neutral places rather than having them over to your home. 3. Protect your home spiritually. Padre Pio emphasized that the home is a sanctuary and needs to be spiritually protected. He suggested keeping sacred objects, such as crucifixes and religious images, in visible places, and also saying specific prayers asking for divine protection for the home. One practical tip is to pray Psalm 90 or the Holy Rosary frequently, consecrating your home and its inhabitants to God's protection. In addition, maintaining spiritual habits such as reading the Bible and participating in the sacraments helps to strengthen this protection. 4. Seek spiritual guidance. If you are having difficulty dealing with the situation, seek out a priest or spiritual leader to talk to. An experienced guide can offer more targeted advice and even specific prayers to help you deal with this person. An outside perspective can often bring clarity and insight. How Maria protected her home. Maria, a devout mother of 2, began to notice that her home was becoming more agitated and conflicted after frequent visits from her longtime friend Clara. Although friendly, Clara would bring gossip, criticism, and comments that made Maria uncomfortable. One day, after attending Mass, Maria heard a sermon about protecting the home from negative influences and decided to take action. First, she included Clara in her daily prayers, asking God to help her be a more positive person. Then, Maria gently began to limit her visits, meeting Clara at coffee shops and other places outside the home. At the same time, she began to pray the rosary with her family daily and placed a crucifix at the entrance to her home. Over time, Maria noticed that peace returned to her home and that Clara, influenced by the distance and the more relaxed conversations outside the home, gradually began to change. So who is the person that Padre Pio warns us not to let into our homes? This is not a specific name, but behaviors and attitudes that carry negativity, conflict, and in some cases, even disguised evil. His advice goes far beyond a simple social precaution. It is an invitation to reflect on the energies and influences we allow into our most sacred space. Padre Pio taught us that our home should be a refuge of peace and spirituality, a place where our family can grow emotionally and spiritually. By allowing negative people into our homes, we can open doors not only to visible conflicts, but also to invisible imbalances, which affect the harmony and well-being of our family. The objective is not to exclude or reject people, but to protect what matters most: our faith, our inner peace, and the bonds we build within our home. To do this, we need to discern wisely, pray for those who cause us concern, and, if necessary, establish clear limits to preserve the environment in our home. Remember, protecting your home spiritually is not an act of selfishness, but of care. As Padre Pio taught, a house in prayer and consecrated to God is like a fortress, resistant to any negative external influence. If you found these reflections valuable, share this video with friends and family who need to hear this message. Write in the comments if you have experienced something similar and how you dealt with it. And of course, subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content. May God bless your home and guide you on the path of peace and spiritual protection. Until next time.